I'm Christine Rothdeutsch, the host of the show. And today we're talking about something you might not think is relative to business, but listen up because these areas in when it comes to energy are so important as I'm finding myself. Today I have with me my guest, Liz Bull. Welcome to the show, Liz.
Thank you, Christine. I am so happy to be here. It's going to be a great experience for everybody, actually.
And we're talking today primarily on feng shui, well, however you said, there's probably 100 different ways of saying it, but feng shui in your business. Now, I've heard about it for years. About placement of furniture is all pretty much I got about it, and didn't really pay much attention to it. But again, like I said in my intro about energy, I've been learning in these last 2 years the missing piece for myself, and that's in mindset work and Reiki and all these different things. But I'm getting into understanding this is the missing piece for so many people in business that are struggling because I was always the one of just teach me how to do business and I'll have a thriving business, but I felt something was still missing. And then I discovered, the right program. I mean, I had heard bits and pieces, but today we're here really to, you had mentioned about feng shui for your business. First of all, Liz, can you explain to our audience basically what feng shui is about?
Feng Shui is about two things. One is energy, and the other is about intention. The other is about intention. Literally, it just means wind and water, right? So in Feng Shui, traditional Feng Shui, and there are two schools. There's one that has to do more with the directions, and then there's another school that's called the Black Hat School, which basically works off of the orientation is your front door. Wherever your front door is, that's where we go from there, right? In terms of placement and figuring out what needs to go where so that you have a harmonious relationship of all the areas wherever you live or wherever you work. And sometimes, as you know, they're the same place. They're the same place. I mean, there's so many people who work from home, whether they intended to initially or not. Some of us, it's by design, and some of it was like, oh, they're not letting us go into the office. What do I do now? So that's what it amounts to. So there are actually 9 areas on what's called the Bagua map. Sometimes it shows up, I'm going to show everybody, sometimes it shows up as a square, which is certainly the easiest way to look at it. Starting with the middle part, which is the heart of the home. The heart of the home. And this part is all about health. It's about health. But let's talk about the business part. This, you can look at this part here as the front of your house. You can go on the macro and you can go on the micro level, right? So this can be the front of your house. It can also be the front of your office if you use a home office. Either way. And then you can divide your house up into these areas. I'm going to go through them bit by bit so people get a sense of it. But this one is something to pay attention to because this is the career area right there. And that's your front door for most people. Not necessarily so. There are a lot of oddball houses out there. I can't spin. So you kind of have to adjust. But in a lot of cases, the front door is in the middle of the house. And this needs to be paid particular attention to in terms of your business, your career, and your success. There are certain elements that are associated with each of these areas. Generally speaking, whatever is at the front area here has to do with water. At the back is more fire, and then you've got metal and you've got earth. So you've got the elements that all go together. in terms of the things that work for you in your business, there's obviously the wealth areas back here. There's fame and reputation. Very important. If you want to have a successful business, people have to know who you are. And not only that, they have to think that you're a cool person. So fame and reputation, you want to pay attention to that. You absolutely want to pay attention to that. So that's something to, excuse me, pay very close attention to fame and reputation and what you have in those areas. There are lots of books out there on the market that will tell you what to put where. So I want to just kind of cover the basics here. The other thing to pay attention to is this area here, which is helpful people and travel. We all need helpful people. We all need helpful people. So pay attention to that one in particular. The other one that I think is excellent to pay attention to is this one here, which has to do with your inner knowledge. Inner knowledge, because who you are in business depends on who you are and how well developed you are, how well you know yourself. Always having personal growth as something that is a value for you and something that is an ongoing pursuit. It's personal development, personal growth, right? Because there's the only thing that's constant in this world is change. And if you're not keeping up with it, well, you're going to get left in the dust.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, Liz, you're saying that being involved in personal development in itself Feng Shui. It's adding.
It's an element. It's certainly an element of it. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. And there are things, I'll just say, this area of your home might be the place where you have things that are related to personal growth. Could be where you have your books, where you keep your bookshelves, assuming you have them, something like that. It can also be a place where you find yourself in quiet contemplation. It can be there too, spending quiet time by yourself, learning about things that you love, including yourself, including yourself, right? So this one here can also be about, the thing about this whole area is about achieving balance in your life and achieving balance in the energy in your home. Because when things are out of kilter, you feel off. And when you feel off, that hurts your business, hurts your relationships, hurts your business.
Now, something I don't know if I read it in some of my research before the show or somebody was mentioning, but it comes to mind of if you have a messy environment, you're messy inside, your energy inside. Is that?
So yes. And having, for women, I'm going to digress a little bit here and talk about biology and physiology. Women have, by nature, by design, very diffuse focus. We pay attention to everything. We notice everything. Men are single focus. So, they literally go through life with blinders on. It's like, hunt the deer, hunt the deer, hunt the deer, which is why men can step over socks that they left on the floor in the bedroom and not even notice. It's why men can go, where's the ketchup in the fridge, where it's been there, like forever in the same spot. And they'll go, where's the ketchup? And we know exactly where the ketchup is. We know that it's right next to the mustard. We know that, right? So the problem with a messy environment for women is that diffuse focus is because, we're looking at this, we're looking at that. It's just so much visual information that it's overwhelming and therefore stressful. Very stressful for women. Men, not so much. They don't get that, they're like, hunt the deer lake. And it's like, I just got that one piece of paper. I know exactly where it is. And, that's it. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
it does.
yeah. So it's not
Uh,
necessarily that you're messy inside.
mhm,
It's more that you're overwhelmed with visual information,
mm,
not all of which is useful. You know?
right,
So
right.
yeah, it's more like that, which makes it more difficult um, for women. I mean, it's hard for women to focus on one thing anyway, simply because of this diffuse attention that we have.
Mm.
It's hard for us because it requires a lot of testosterone. We ain't got it. We ain't got it. And it's why older women are more able to achieve that focus because the testosterone levels, the estrogen levels have dropped
Mm.
as we age, and so it becomes easier for us to focus in on stuff. I'm not saying it's easy; it's just easier.
Easier. Yes, yes.
There's a
So
difference.
so the placement, does it change from person to person, or is there a general rule, north to south, east to west, put this here, you know?
It's a general rule. What varies is how this adapts to your house, your structure, because there are houses out there which are not square. There's a reason
Mm,
the Japanese tend to have these square houses because it works really well with the Bible map. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. But but with modern architecture, we've got these L-shaped houses, we've got, things that go off at angles and so on and so forth,
mm,
which creates a feng shui problem because you end up with areas that literally are missing. And if they're missing, then you have to implement what are known as cures. You have to do something to kind of make up for the fact that there's nothing there.
mhm,
You
mhm.
know, so that's another whole story. That's for a feng shui, a heavy duty feng shui expert to deal with that sort of thing.
Mm.
But I can, but mercifully, most people's offices are at least rectangular. You don't see too many triangular ones out there. But
True.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you can at least do that. You can at least do that. I think the other area that's important to pay attention to in your home is the relationships area. That's crucial, I
Mhm,
think, because especially for women who are in relationship, and a lot of us are, if that ain't working,
mhm.
it's tough on the business. It's tough on the business. So it's good to pay attention to that area. And pay attention to the colors. The colors should be warm by and large, assuming that your bedroom is at the back of your house, which is, by the way, the best place for it to be energetically, because the back of the house is quieter. The better place for your office to be is towards the front of the house because that's more active. You want activity for your business.
Okay, so it's not so much a directional thing of north, south, east, or west. It's whatever is designated the front of the house versus the back.
In the black hat school, yes.
Okay.
Okay. There's the other school is way more complicated and more difficult for ordinary folks like you and me to deal with.
Mhm.
This one, very straightforward.
Now, Liz, do you have any case studies that you could share, just even one, or maybe yourself that you changed something and it really did make a difference? Can
Yeah,
you?
actually, I can. Actually, I can. Because I actually ended up moving houses, but the house that we were in before, um, our bedroom was in this exact area of the house. It was and actually, that house was kind of square. There was the bedroom, right? And then a tree fell on the house in a big storm that came through here, and the bedroom got destroyed, totally destroyed. And so we ended up having to move to a room at the front. And so that destroyed room stayed kind of destroyed for an extended period of time. And our relationship went to crap, absolute crap. Yeah. Yeah.
You sure it's not just because of what you had endured and the fact that the bedroom was crap? I mean, like, that had nothing to do with it?
Well, but wait, there's more, right? So in the meantime, I decided that we really needed to be out of the country and in closer into town, right? So we have this apartment, And the bedroom is actually, when I was scoping out apartments, I chose it for this layout, right? Once again, the relationship is in that corner. It's been great ever since. It's been
Okay.
great ever since. 10 years worth of great, right? The bed is where it really needs to be. Your bed should always be facing the door. You should never have your bed where you can't see the door, because it's kind of spooky. Same thing, by the way, with your desk in your office. Your desk in your office should face the door, because you never want somebody to be able to sneak up on you. Never.
Oh, I've always felt that way. Yes, yes. If it's not, if I'm not looking at the door now is to the side. Yeah, yeah, I'm
You
the same
you
way.
you got it. You know, I mean, my desk is kind of catty corner because
Mhm.
the door is actually in a corner of the room. So I
Mhm.
was like, no. And that makes me feel secure. And the walls behind me make me feel supported. This is all energy stuff. It's feng shui. And feng shui is energy. It's energy. You
Mhm.
feel supported. Same thing when you go out and you're dining in a restaurant. You feel much better if your back is against the wall and you can see who's coming in, who's coming and going.
Mhm.
You feel much safer that way. And that, I think, is especially important for women. Especially important for women. Pay attention to that. Just
Right.
notice your body when you're exposed and when you're not. Just
Mhm.
notice. Just notice. Yeah. So the
Um,
colors, so I paid very close attention to what I was doing in the relationship area. So the bed is against the back wall, facing the door. You don't have any electronics in there. You know, things are in pairs, and it's very important. I learned this from my feng shui consultant. It's like when you have, um, bedside tables, it's
mhm.
important that they be the same size, because when they're not, there's an imbalance in the relationship.
Mm.
Mm,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, all these things you're saying, boy, this answers a lot of things.
Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Well, Liz, I hope our audience has, it's at least piqued their interest to want to know more. As I said, I'm open to all of these other things in life. Why not? Why not have something like this, really make a difference in your life? We want to think on the concrete level all the time, and there's so many other forces at work in our life, and we need to really pay attention to those. So I thank you for being here today and talking about this. So Liz, if people want to know more, and you have so many tools in your tool belt. I know because I've known you for so many years, and so this is the first time I've heard you speak about feng shui. I know you for many other things. How can people get a hold of you?
Oh, the best way is to just go to speaktoliz.com and get on my calendar. Very easy. Speaktoliz.com and find a spot, and we will chat. Find out what's up with you and how I might be able to help you, or very least have a good time.
Yes, and like I say, you have so many good things to offer, business people, non-business people, every human being. But Liz, I have one more question for you, Liz,
Yeah.
and this is about, well, you've been in business many, many years, but is there something that comes to mind that kind of helped you to make it click for your business over the years, that even today you look back and you're like, wow, that thing I learned, or maybe it was technology. I'm always open to technology, but maybe it was something you learned.
I wish I could say it was something in technology, but the biggest thing, quite honestly, is making friends with your numbers.
Mm,
And uh, the Profit First, the book called Profit First by Mike Mikowski, really makes a whole lot of sense, because most accounting systems look at profit as whatever's left over after you've paid all your expenses. And Mikowski says, no, 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 no. There is a formula that will give you a healthy business if you follow it. And that's made a huge difference for me. I wish I'd known about that many, many years ago, but I didn't. I mean, my first business I started in 1982. So long time ago, long time ago. And nobody talks, nobody was talking about that then. No, and most accountants don't talk about that at all. They don't. So this formula of, keeping your expenses, your operating expenses to no more than 30% of gross revenue makes all the difference in the world. And taking that 5% off the top as profit to be set aside to grow your business, huge, just huge. So everybody can follow that, but you have to keep on top of your numbers, and a lot of people don't. Sad to say, but that I think makes the biggest difference. Yeah. Profit first. That's why we're in business, is profit.
Oh, excellent piece of advice, Liz. Thank you so much for that. Again, thank you so much for being here today on Make It Click.
Oh, my pleasure.